Yeah, we're live. Guys, it's another wonderful day. Here we are together, another wonderful day, another wonderful opportunity to wake up and to conquer and to go out and do amazing things in our life. And I'm excited to be here with you guys. It's a wonderful, wonderful day. A couple of days ago, we talked about the deep, dark things, all the pain, all the things you need to leverage, and that's completely true. Today, we're going to keep it positive. I'm going to tell you a little story about my childhood, and I'm going to tell you about a really important exercise and principle you need to do as a copywriter if you want to be successful every time you communicate. So when I was a kid, my dad was like way into engineering and electronics and stuff like that. Like it was really, really cool. And he introduced me to this guy. We'd build cool science projects, my dad and I. It was really fun. But my dad introduced me to this dude named Nikolai Tesla. And I got obsessed with learning about Tesla. Tesla was this guy. He was from Serbia. And he was a super genius. And he applied himself to understanding like electrical engineering and physics. He was the guy who created the alternating current motor and like all that stuff. He basically pioneered the basic electrical system that every major development in the entire world has been dependent upon, right? Absolute super cool guy. He invented a whole bunch of really cool things. He ended up kind of going down an interesting route. He invented some technology. He eventually died penniless, right? He wasn't super great at monetizing his stuff, but he was super good at coming up with really cool breakthroughs. I thought he was awesome. As a kid, I idolized him, thought it was great, tried to replicate some of his stuff, thought it was really cool. But there was something super specific that he was able to do that I put some time and effort into. And then I realized the other day that I'm actually doing it as a copywriter. So when he would do one of his advantages over other inventors or engineers is that most people, when they come up with an idea, they have to build it and then they test it and they see if it works and then they have to make tweaks to it. Nikolai Tesla had the unique ability to create it in his own brain. What I mean by this is he would run the whole experiment inside of his mind. He would build the machine. He had an ability to perfectly visualize things in his mind. He visualized building the machine, and he'd visualize testing it, and he'd see how it worked, didn't work, and he would be able to refine it all in his mind. So then he could build it, and he would build it and it would work, or he'd build it and be really, really, really close to working right from the very beginning. He had this ability to create this simulation in his own mind of reality, and then run different scenarios through until he could find the winning one, and then he could build it. I thought it was super cool. I'd practice visualizing and stuff like that as a kid. It was fun. Anyways, fast forward, as an adult, kind of shifted away from the whole physics thing and moved more towards the sales and persuasion side of stuff. Really quite enjoyed it. But I realized as a copywriter that at the end of the day, we have to all be like Nikolai Tesla. We have to all be able to create a version of reality in our mind in which we can create scenarios and kind of imagine how certain things would play out, right? As a copywriter, I tell you guys to go do research and understand your target market and build an avatar. Some of you get confused about this. The whole point of the avatar is to give you a specific person you can visualize in your mind. And I realize I'm pretty good at this. Maybe it's practice, but it's something you all should do, as it's like something that everyone is capable of doing. Everybody on this call is capable of performing this exercise. You're only going to get better and better at it with time. But when you sit down to do any kind of communication, you must visualize that person. You must picture them in your mind. You must fire up a little simulation of reality inside of your mind of your avatar, what their day's like, where they've been, where they've gone through, all that sort of stuff. And you need to then imagine them interacting with your copy. So you kind of picture them, like let's say you're writing an Instagram post for someone. You picture them, and you picture them like with all their life and all their thoughts, all that stuff. You picture this person, this avatar you've created in your mind. You picture them scrolling. You picture them seeing the post. And how are they going to react? When they see this, is it going to stop there? Are they going to pay attention to it? Yes or no? Okay, maybe they will. They're going to read this first line. What are they going to think? You have to create a version of reality in your mind where you imagine what that person is going to do, how they're going to react to each and every part of your copy, whether they decide to leave and not read anymore because of something you said, or because they get bored, or how are they going to decide to act, or why would they decide not to act? You need to create that. You need to be able to understand this in your own mind. You need to become like Nikola Tesla and create this experience inside of your own mind. And if it's difficult, and if you're not exactly sure how they're going to react or why they're going to react, you need to either do more research so you understand that person better, or you need to just like double down and ask yourself, well, maybe how would I react? If possible, you want to inform this version of your reality. Like you want to create this avatar in your mind based on real data. You can't just create an avatar just out of thin air. Like you could, but it's going to be limited by your own assumptions about how reality works, your own assumptions about that person. The best way to create an avatar is to find that actual person and learn what they say. Ask them and talk to them. If you have a client and they have winning customers, if you can talk to those actual customers and interview them and ask them the questions in the research document, that's going to be the best. The next best is go find what they're saying online. Actually, that's kind of better than that is if you actually know somebody who fits the target market, then go talk to that person. If you got a cousin, aunt, a friend, or someone that's in that sort of same space, go talk to them, ask them those questions, gather that data, and then you can build that version of reality that's a little more accurate. Just doing it all in your brain or just asking ChatGPT to do it without feeding it real data, without feeding your own brain real data, you're going to have a skewed version of reality. Your imagination, your simulation inside of your mind isn't going to be completely accurate. So it's like you're creating your own matrix. You create this own version of reality inside of your mind, and you have the things interact, and you can play it out or play it around. But anyways, you need to perform this exercise because it's going to speed up your learning process. It's going to allow you to fine tailor your copy to where it's when you throw out there live, it's got a much higher success rate because you've applied the right copywriting principles, but you've simulated, you tested it in the simulation. You've run it past these persons. You've reviewed it harshly through that, and you must have a very harsh filter as you review things in your little simulated Nikola Tesla matrix of copy. You have to be very, very harsh. You have to be very, very honest to yourself. If you lie to yourself there in this miniature version of reality you've created in your mind, the lie is going to catch up to you when it goes to reality. If you push it live and you send it out to someone's audience and no one responds, that's a lot harsher of a lesson than if you figure out, if you're honest with yourself and you say, you know what, I don't think this is going to work. I need to fix this, this, and this. It's better to do that in your simulated version of reality than reality, or at least the reality we live in. This is the core ability of what makes a good copywriter, his ability to immerse himself in the mind of the person who is reading his words. If you can imagine who they are and you can review your own copy through their eyes, you can fine tailor the message however you need to achieve the objectives that you want, to get them to take the actions you want them to take, whether that's purchase a product, click a link, subscribe, etc., etc. This is the core skill. And like I said, everyone is capable of doing this. Everyone is capable of creating imagining in their mind what it's like for this other person who you've done the research on. If you put in the work, you should be able to create this person. You can imagine how they're going to react to your copy, line by line. You put them in the place where they're going to consume it. You imagine them sitting on the bus going through it, or sitting down at their desk, or relaxing on the couch. You picture them where they're at. You picture them in their mind state, and you imagine how they are going to interact with your copy. Everyone can do this, and you all should do this for every piece of copy or communication that you do, from your content that you actually create to your outreaches to your sales calls, everything. It's all about empathy. And if you use this method, if you use the Nikola Tesla laboratory, the matrix you create in your own brain, it's going to massively, massively speed up. Because instead of having to learn trial and error and just like throwing crap out into reality and getting it back, like learning that way, you can learn faster in your own simulated reality, and then you will succeed much faster in reality. So guys, make this a common practice. When you sit down to write copy, define the avatar as clearly as you possibly can. Create the movie, the sights, the sounds, everything of them experiencing the copy, experiencing their life, experiencing the pains and their desires, and use that to inform your writing so you can tailor it to them and it will have the greatest possible impact, because he who has the greatest impact wins. My friends, it's been a great call. It's been a great chance to share this idea with you and hope you guys understand this perspective. Make this a common practice. If it's difficult at first, don't worry. It's going to get easier over time, but double down, practice this, practice the empathy, practice the simulation in your mind, practice reviewing the copy as if you're the avatar, the person reading it, and it's going to massively speed up your ability to improve. Guys, it's been great. I'll talk with you guys again tomorrow. Let's go out there. Let's get it. Let's conquer. Talk with you tomorrow.